suffering and spiritual growth, they go hand in hand. Honestly, you can't evolve spiritually unless you're suffering. Now, that might sound a little grim and dark, and this, spiritual movement that we're in is not all light and love and unicorns and rainbows, right? You have to go through that darkness if you want to enter the light. There's no way around this. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, you're going to struggle. Yes, there's going to be many speed bumps in the road. However, every one that you go through, you get stronger, right? We have to start prioritizing the growth instead of the comfort. That is honestly the biggest obstacle right now, your comfort level, right? We've all suffered. We've all been there. Now, the more that you've suffered, the higher you are as a spiritual being, right? Because you know what it takes in order to get through those road bumps. You know what it takes in order to get through that turmoil. Instead of just being chaotic and blaming everybody for what's going on in your life, you're taking full responsibility for it. That's what is possible right now in this great awakening as we move into the fifth dimension right here on planet Earth. You have to recognize that everything that you were doing in the past was for this moment right here and now. That's all there is this moment. Anything that you think about in your past, that was there to make you who you are right now. And anything in the future, that is still you in that same universal soul. You had to grow up that baby body, right? Go through puberty, go through adolescence. Now you're this adult body. That same soul is still within you. It is infinite. Now, all of that suffering had to happen so you could wake up. Let me tell you firsthand that suffering is not easy and it's not comfortable, especially in the beginning. When I was just 11 years old, my father transitioned, right? My biological father passed away from a heart attack in his sleep at the age of 43. Not comfortable. Honestly, I've lost many family members and I've been through a lot of suffering and trauma in my life, And when you're going through it, it's not easy. I'm not here to sugarcoat this and tell you that you should be suffering and everyone should be evolving spiritually. No, life happens, right? The question is, how are you reacting to life? Are you embracing it? Are you having grace and gratitude? Or are you being stuck in that victim mentality, right? The consumer that's just like, gimme, gimme, gimme all the time. Why me, right? No, you created this so you could wake up. Instead of asking why me, ask, why did I create this? You see, because you created that event, whether it was the breakup, whether somebody died in your family, it doesn't matter. You created it so you could wake up. When I was 11, obviously losing my father was a terrible thing, very traumatic. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. It was a very emotional time in my life. The whole family, got broken up. It was very traumatic. There was lots of suffering involved. And during that time, I couldn't equate it. I had no logical thinking whatsoever. Now, later on in my early 20s, I had this profound realization that we had a soul contract, right? My biological father had to transition at that particular age, at that particular time, so I could evolve on my spiritual journey. Don't you see it's all connected? Every single one of us, we are all connected on that spiritual dimension. So those are soul contracts that have to be played out. It is all karma being played out. And if you're just caught in it saying, oh, why me? This sucks. Oh my gosh. You are going the opposite direction of spiritual growth, right? You are getting caught in that samsara, in that wheel, and that cycle of birth and death. Instead of perpetuating your spiritual evolution and going into the light body and going into your infinite form, you're being caught into the material and getting caught into that 3D form. Every time you attach to those thoughts and go in tune with those emotions, you are going deeper into your 3D material form instead of going higher and ascending to the 5D infinite form that lives within all of us. Yes, suffering is a necessary part of this. There's no way around it. You incarnated right here. You chose this. Believe it or not, you came right here to planet Earth to suffer so you could learn unconditional love and master the game so you don't have to come back and do it again. This is just one of many planets that are out there. Every single planet has its own lesson, right? This is just a school, the Earth school, right? And the lesson is unconditional love. And there are other schools out there. However, this school right now is so important. We have to master that. So yes, you're going to go through even more breakups, even more turmoil. Again, how are you reacting to it? Is there grace? Are you connected with the universe? Are you connected to Jah, the universe, Krishna, that Yahshua, Jesus energy, right? That Christ consciousness, is that within you? Are you tapping into it? Or are you being propelled to the body, to the material, to that part of yourself that is longing for more and getting you caught in that web of duality, going through that samsara over and over again. It's exhausting, isn't it? It's time to let go, right, of that identity of who you think you are, because every time you're attaching to that thought that you are this body or that you think you are those thoughts, you are creating even more struggles in this game, even more karma that you have to play out. So why not do the opposite? Why not let go, right? Surrender and repeat. Get in tune with that infinite self and go even deeper than you've ever gone before. That is what is laid out in front of us. That is what we can do. However, it's so much harder, right? It's a challenge, right? And that's where I challenge you all right now to have more grace, to have more gratitude when you suffer, when you go into that place, that dark, scary place, right? Remember that there is a light somewhere, and that light is you. You are that light in that dark, scary place. All you have to do is shine. That is it. We are here to shine so bright. Imagine that light getting so big and so bright that it literally explodes this human form. Your human form cannot handle the light. That is what we call ascension. That is you enlightened instead of being caught into that material form, because guess what? That's what we're all doing. We're all going through those waves and waves of suffering and polishing the mirror and shining everything to this bright, beautiful diamond that you are, instead of being caught on the surface and being this piece of coal, right? You have to go deeper. Yes, suffering is going to happen. In fact, I can almost guarantee that it's going to happen. It doesn't matter, right? Whether you lock yourself in a room somewhere, right? You try to avoid everything in your life. I don't care how much of a spiritual bypasser you are or what's going to happen. You're going to suffer, and it's going to catch up with you. Even if you leave this body, right? Leave this spiritual dimension, leave this earthly plane, you're going to feel that suffering, right? It's going to catch up with you to the point where you're like, whoa, why is this happening to me, right? And then you flip the switch to, why did I create this? That's when you become the creator. That's when you become the master of your reality, and you're no longer in that victim mindset, and you are tapping into that infinite consciousness which lives within all of us. So yes, suffering is the key to you unlocking the next level in the game. However, you can't ask for it, right? All you have to do is play. You know it's going to happen. It's going to come into your life. The question is, how are you reacting to it? Is it something that is a positive experience, right? Because this takes time to integrate, right? To get into that cosmic view, you have to be the witness here. You have to be the observer. If you're caught in this material form and playing in this role of the game, and you're so obsessed with trying to control every little thing, then more suffering is just going to happen upon you. It's time to let go of all of those identities and recognize that that suffering is a necessary component through this earth school. And the more that you can do that, the more grace comes into your life. And therefore, this becomes a little bit more of a dance instead of this resistance from the ego and the higher self. So welcome to the Great Awakening. Welcome to the most challenging years of your life, honestly. And the better you are at meditating, the better you are at getting into nature, having that ease, right, where you can let go as a conscious action, right, and give that energy to the universe, give it back to the earth itself, ground your energy, be connected with that source. Then things become a little bit more graceful, a little bit easier, a little more elegance comes into your life. And let me tell you firsthand that suffering is almost guaranteed. Now, what you do about it is the secret sauce to making this a little bit more beautiful, right? This reincarnation, this experience that you're going through over and over again is just a blink of an eye. It happens so quickly in that longer spectrum of you, the infinite soul. So guess what? Embrace it. The next time it happens, thank it. Thank you, universe, for all of the suffering that has ever happened to me, every trauma, every breakup. When you have full responsibility for that in your life, you are infinite and you can't go back. I love each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Go ahead and throw a comment right here on YouTube if you're watching, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, just leave a little review. That would be awesome. Let's get more people into this. Let's get this Great Awakening on board. Let's get the fifth dimension even more accessible to everybody right here on this Earth School. I love you guys. Unconditional love coming out to each and every one of you. Until next time, infinite love, infinite peace.